This is Design Safe Radio, where natural hazards researchers strive to make our society more resilient to everything nature throws at us.
So I'm hopeful for the third edition of the Science Plan.
Yeah, what I'm hearing through all this too is that it's the Science Plan is a living document. It's not a stone tablet that's bequeathed from on high. It's very much something that is thoughtfully changed as the environment changes, as the state of research changes, as our teams change, and so there is flexibility to improve and add to it, but in a measured way, so it's not just a free-for-all of ideas, but
Yes.
going in the same direction.
Yes, absolutely. And I must say the review panel for our renewal review, they were a little cautious about us working on a third edition. They liked the second edition. I like the second edition too. I think it's an excellent document. And anyone who hasn't downloaded it yet, especially a researcher planning to work on hazards research, definitely download it. Again, NHERI Science Plan, search for it, it'll come up.
Yeah, it's not a sleep aid like ACE7. It's actually very interesting.
Yes. Oh yeah, it is. It's a good read. But the review panel were, I think, appropriately cautious that why are we messing with a good thing? They were also looking ahead, saying we have 5 years of NHERI reauthorized. Now it's down to about 4 years. Why are we changing the science plan now? It'll only be published in 2022. Then there's only 3 years left. What is the point? And the point was, it's a living document. And if we leave it static, it fails to be a living document. We do need to keep updating it. And secondly, we pointed out the need to better incorporate the capabilities of the NHERI Sim Center. They have some phenomenal tools that they've developed over the first series of NHERI years. And those, we need more implementation of those tools. And on the other hand, Converge was added relatively recently to the NHERI family, and they have enormous talent for us to use on the social science side, including the Extreme Event Reconnaissance, the EER.
Oh yeah, which there's like 3 new ones since the last Science Plan.
Exactly.
It seems like there's a new one every week.
There's 7 total now, and almost none of that has been incorporated into the science plan. And the data we can collect immediately after a hazard event is often what drives our research and drives our code improvements. That happened after the Tohoku tsunami. It happened after the earthquake in Chile, Northridge earthquake. Every earthquake teaches us something which finds its way into the code. But before we simply change the code, we have to do research on that. And so those drive the, so we're hoping that will also drive the science plan third version.
Yeah. Something that we talk about, you talked about the science of team science, and one of the like most high functioning teams in the world, I may or may not be advertising a t-shirt of related to them, but the Navy SEALs. We talk about a lot of after action reviews and coming back to the same background of experience after they've completed something. And it's harder to do that as a natural hazards community team. And it sounds like the science plan is one way of bringing the whole community back to this background of experience. Like, this is how we talk about what we do, and this is how we approach our problems. This is how we incorporate our best operating procedures and checklists and tools and all of that, and we disseminate it to the whole community all at once, so that everybody can learn from the failures in the field that we solved that problem, so you don't have to, and those kinds of things. And so it's helping us be a better team the best we can.
Yeah, I agree. And it's even more important as we diversify that team. As we include more simulation, as we include the social sciences, as we include these rapid response extreme event reconnaissance teams, they're all looking at the same problem, but from completely different angles.
Yeah.
The experimentalists are looking at their little experiment. The simulation are looking at trying to expand that experiment to simulate an entire community. And the social sciences are looking at the same problem, but from a completely different angle. And then the extreme event reconnaissance folk are going out as quickly as they can to see what happened. what actually happened to our infrastructure. And so all of that, getting all of those people to work together takes indeed science of team science. How do we talk to each other? How do we come back, as you say, to a common goal, which I think is what the science plan is going to represent. It represents now, and hopefully we can improve in the 3rd edition. Because, yeah, as you're saying, we need to regroup after each of these major events, because we see things happening that we've seen before. And somehow we haven't solved the problem. Somehow either we haven't done the research or we haven't been able to get it implemented in the field, but we're seeing a recurring problem. Those are the things we need to target. And sometimes it's the social science aspect, it's the public policy, it's the economics that drive why people are not making those changes. And so we need to get out of our engineering hats and help the social scientists make the arguments for why we need to incorporate safe rooms in tornado zones, or incorporate window protection in hurricane zones, things like that. There's some communities that do it, but there are many communities that don't. And when they suffer the consequences, it's disappointing. It feels like we're not getting our message out. I think your podcasts are actually a good part of that. Just spreading the word to the public that this we're doing our best, and we need help getting this implemented in your communities.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of Design Safe Radio. This show is sponsored by the National Science Foundation grant number 1612144. You can subscribe to Design Safe Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you find your podcasts. Please leave us a review so we can improve the show. Please also help others find our episodes in iTunes. Thanks for your feedback and support. You can find out more about NHERI at designsafe-ci.org, on Facebook at Design Safe Radio, or on Twitter at NHERI Design Safe.